So I'm just feeling to offer some comment regarding some recent very significant world events, namely the results of the US election, and I have no opinion about the results or anything, but I am able to stand back here in Australia and sort of quite definitively say that it's not what I would have chosen if I was voting. But it's not about my opinion, not about your opinion. This is not about opinions. It's about, let's say if you're tuned in and you you feel the same way as me, you would not have chosen that, or you didn't choose that if you're indeed a US citizen, then there's an important message to be aware of here, and that is that it was not your free will that chose this. Okay, so, and if you're still listening to this video, you're probably foreseeing that, things could get pretty crazy. Things could become, rather unpredictable, and who can say, it could all become quite dramatic, no doubt. So I'm just going to offer, my perspectives on how to deal with this. And so the first thing is to recognise that this is a choice that was made by a majority, and that means there's a majority of people in this country, or in any country that is outplaying sort of, huge unrest. There's a majority of people who are resisting change. Like they're hanging on to clinging on to dear life, that they just don't want things to change. Like if you look at the situation in the US, there's a great fear that the Democrats would have changed a lot of things and moved forward, whereas the push that's come from the other side is more about, holding on to traditional values. And we can just sort of, I don't need to expand on it, but which traditional values, when you look at it, like that's sort of like almost like going back into the past, and like, do we really want to go backwards into the past? And there's a lot of people who are hanging on to that, and they're like, yeah, we do, we want to go back, we want to go right back to, when Jesus was around and the good old days and whatever it might be, like the way it's been for a long, long time. So these people have chosen, they've made the choice, and it's their free will to do so, and clearly there's a majority. So how do the people who are in this situation and are not comfortable with the result, and it wasn't your choice, how do you manage that? So firstly, just to accept that it is a choice that's been made, it's been made by the majority, and there's just no point resisting this. It's very important to just accept, okay, it's the way it's gone. And that's the way it's going to continue to go. Like, it's not going to be, this isn't going to be just one test. There's going to be one after another coming through. So basically it's sort of suggesting that these people have, they're not prepared to change. They're not wanting to change. And the essence of the spiritual path is moving upwards. It is about progress. It is about moving forwards and expanding yourself, in every possible way. Whereas those who don't want to change, they're resisting that. They're resisting, the inevitable that, you know, at some point, it doesn't have to be this lifetime, but at some point, you know, we do get confronted with, you know, lessons that come along that push us to sort of reevaluate ourselves and to shift our perspectives and to shift who we are in response to the world. So, you know, and that's basically when karma comes, you know, hitting you really hard, and it's known as the school of hard knocks. And, you know, we've all experienced it at some point. You know, it may not be in this lifetime, but, you know, definitely in past lifetimes when, you know, when tough lessons come and they slap you in the face, and it just, you know, it just gives you this wake-up call where you just decide, you know, things have got to change here. I've got to just radically shift my direction because I can't live like this anymore. So we go about reinventing ourselves and healing and resolving traumas and doing all of that. So if you look at, like, you know, the big picture of all of this, there's a majority of people who they're basically asking for this to happen. Like, you know, their karma is going to come squarely for them to work through. And you need to step back and recognize, like, well, this isn't my karma, but there are lessons for me here. You know, there are lessons for me to learn in this situation. Like, I do need to look at how I'm going to respond to this. So, you know, am I going to resist what's going on? Am I going to fight it? Am I going to try and change these people? Do you think you could? Like, honestly, when you just look at it all at face value, like, I know there is nothing I could say to anyone who made this decision, you know, no matter what level of consciousness. There are some people who are sort of, you know, fairly intelligent who have made this decision too. It's really obvious to me if they can't see the nature of the person they've chosen and the deputy, then why on earth would they listen to me? Why would they listen to you? There's nothing we can do about it, you know? It is the way it is, okay? It's just in a situation like that. So it's very important to sort of step back and just realize that, you know, it's not my responsibility to fix this for anyone else. It's not my responsibility to get in between someone else's karma and try and protect them from that. You know, you're allowed to get on with your own life and your own healing and expressing your own Christhood. You're perfectly entitled to keep doing that. In fact, if you're committed on the spiritual path, you know, it's something that is within your divine plan, that you actually want to do this. You want to express yourself, and there's only blocks in the mind that stop you from taking steps forward. So, you know, really I'm just offering the guidance and the suggestions of that, to not take this personally. It's not something, if you didn't vote for this, then you didn't create it. And you don't have to get involved in trying to change it. Like, it's just a matter of, right, well, I've just got to sit back and allow it and see, like, you know, constantly co-creatively work on how to respond in all situations. Look for your own reactions. See where you feel unsettled or fear or anything like that, and just, like, look and see, you know, work out, you know, how am I going to transcend this? And my encouragement is to turn to God, you know, just throw up your arms and ask for the ascended masters to help, and they will help you. You know, you ask and you will receive. And I'm not saying ask for $1 million, because, you know, that's not what that quote means. It just means ask for help and it will come. It always does. I can guarantee it. You know, it's something I've learned from my journey. So yeah, and it sort of helps to also realize that this is just something that's being acted out on a stage. You know, Shakespeare said the world's a stage and all about the players. And if you look at it, just try and step back and look at it and see, like, you know, the ones who are in the spotlight, they're just playing roles. That's all they're doing, and they're believing they're that role. And the people who have contributed to this drama, who have voted in the main character, they're playing out a drama too. And they're going to learn from this drama, but they're totally identified with the drama. So to step back once again and just like look at it and realize this is just all happening on a stage, on the screen of life. And, you know, do I have to play a role in this? You know, is my role going to be a warrior? Is my role going to be, you know, valiantly fighting for, you know, the downtrodden? Am I going to try and make things right? Am I going to contract and go into fear about this and worry and anxiety? Or am I just going to rise above all of that, all of the fear-based energy, and just come into a space of peace and acceptance and surrender and opening myself up to transcendence? So I feel like that's enough said, and hopefully what I've shared may be of some assistance to others, just give you a slightly different perspective and help you to shift how you're approaching. And I'm only offering it so that for you to help yourself. That's all. And if you're interested, I'll just pop a little link for a very good teaching, which is from an ascended master called PadmaSambhava. And it's about the school of hard knocks, and a lot of what I've talked about is in this teaching, but it's expressed much better than what I do. what I can say, like, yeah, I'm just me. I'm doing my best here. So, yeah, lots of love to you, and remember, it's all just a drama. You don't have to play a part in this crazy drama.